Hi everyone, this is Lilian Motambo here on my YouTube channel, Lilian Motams TV. Thanks for more than 87,998,000 subscribers. I'm almost hitting 88,000 subscribers. I am so grateful. So I just want to talk about this important matter, which I believe many of you have been waiting for, and we are here to talk about this. It's very, very important that we address these issues. For those of you who would like to join this live stream, I'm dropping the links now on my Facebook page and YouTube platforms. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a busy day for me. I've been really busy in the field, in the community, working with the people of Monali constituency. But I wanted us to discuss this because this is very, very important so that we can express our concerns. I mean, this is the first election of 2021 which has so much social media coverage. And believe you me, social media is the best thing that ever happened to Zambia at this time. This is the link that I'm dropping right now for you people to join, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook page, like my Facebook page. So here are the links for you to join me. Let me also share on my YouTube platform as well. And I just want to say thank you as well to my supporters of my YouTube channel from all over the world that are also supporting my journey here in Zambia, as well as funding projects that I'm doing. Natotela sana. An MP should be somebody who is willing to lobby for resources from all over the world, and you guys have really shown your patriotism towards the work that I'm doing, and I'm grateful. Thank you so much. So there's here are the links, and for those of you who would like to contribute towards this discussion, those are the links. I'm just starting the video, and somebody's already disliking it on my Facebook page, on my YouTube channel. It's a shock, right? Okay, so let's get into this video. Let me invite one or two people. Let me invite one or two people who I know would love to be part of this discussion. How are you, Mushinga Jones? How are you? Share this. We have a lot to talk about. It's very important that we are up to date with what's going on as Zambian people. So thank you. Let me check on messages, and let me also put the banner as well. Okay. Thank you so much. So we have Rogers Patrick watching us from Lopula province. So I've dropped the link, guys, for those of you who would like to join. I know it's late, but I know the last time I did a late stream, we had many people watching. Okay, so that's the banner. Okay, so that's our banner. So Chiza says, how can we gain trust in the judicial system and the ECZ on the registration of cards of minors? Should we be worried? Okay, so images are trending of young kids, babies who are being registered to vote per se. They have been given national registration cards, and we are angry, regardless of whether we are opposition or not. We must be angry as Zambians. Enough is enough that this government takes advantage of us. What sort of desperation is this that people are willing to even pursue this matter in this manner? It's a shock. I'm actually shocked. Let me just add Christian Musenga. How are you, sir? And Nicholas Walia. Please, when you come on this stream, turn off the sound on all your devices because it can copyright my stream. It can copyright my stream. By all means, turn off every sound. Turn off every sound. So I'll bring you back when you're ready. Okay, let me just talk about this. What they're still trying to prepare. So here's some images which have shocked us all over the internet, where we have seen young ones, very young, almost 16, was eligible for a national registration card and collected one. So these are your future voters because of the desperation of this current regime. We even have young ones having voters cards. It shouldn't be like this. So we talk about this, and then I'll talk about the medication as well, expired medication that has been, distributed across the country by ghost pharmacies. Okay, so who's with us? I think Nicholas. Hi, Nicholas. How are you? Okay, I think he's lost it, but I was still speaking anyway. Okay, so remember to keep comments respectful at all times. No vulgar language, please. Okay, very, very important that we keep our comments very respectful. Okay, so let me go to the NRCs that we've just seen. Images of NRCs, miners collecting NRCs in Zambia. So tell me where you're watching me from so we can discuss this matter. I have to read comments from both Facebook and YouTube. Let me just put that as well. Okay, from Chilila Bombwe. I mean, they know they'll never win. Now, here's the thing. Let me also just make this announcement for those of you who may not be aware that the mobile NRCs have begun. I'll talk about Monali constituency because that's the information I have at present. So we received a letter from the office of the Honorable Member of Parliament, Monali constituency. Finally, she knows her job. Okay, so to all the ward councillors, the residents of Monali who are different committees, churches, faith-based organizations, CEO, society organizations, school heads, government institutions in Monali and media houses. Reference National Registration Card mobile exercise in Monali parliamentary constituency. In reference to the above mentioned subject, I have been directed and instructed by Professor Kalulua, the Member of Parliament who's been sleeping on her job. Yes, that the National Registration mobile exercise will run for 6 days in 5 wards. Are you kidding me? For 6 days only? This is a joke. So officers from Lusaka Provincial Register of the Department of National Registration and Passport, citizens of whatever will be in Manali from Wednesday 9th to Monday 14th. So I believe it's all across the country that this exercise will be taking place. So Chahinda Ward 29, Chahinda Primary School, Mutendere Ward 30, Chitukuko Primary School, Kalingalinga Ward 31, Kalingalinga Primary School, Chakunkula Ward 32, Chakunkula Primary School, Manali Ward 33 on the square. So this is what's going on. Okay, so let's have Sky Chisha first. And then please, no music as you come on this platform. Make sure everything in your background is completely turned off, no background noise. So let's have Sky Chisha first, then Eustace Mutolo, okay, then Robert Moyo. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Hello. Hello.
Musanga wanyama tatenti kambe nkani ya marriage atubwanji.
Muri bwanji, madam.
Bueno,
Hello?
muri bwanji. Bwanji nimvera.
Okay, niri bueno, madam. Yeah, nkani. Thank you, but network is networking that's inside. So my words, yes, sometimes they are keeping us. Let's keep. Are you getting me?
Okay, lekani choke, then I come back. 1 minute.
So we are not getting you clear. Okay.
Munganimvera manje? Nimveka?
Hapa mwamveka, madam. Yes, can you try to introduce? Hello?
Okay. So conversation yameti tikambapo lero tikambapo pali nkani ya NRC kuti ba PF baleta bantu ba NRCs bana bang'ono ati batenge ma NRCs batengisa ma NRCs then kulika video kamene atamba kamene batilangiza pamene bapangira ma NRCs mu privacy akaka video. So first nimelangiza video first. Chipanga chena chombo chimashinja kaini. So apawezo panga ma NRC bapanga the private app ba PF. Why ba PF bachitavaso? Let's talk about this. Kambani manje.
Madam, zikomo inkani amene mwareta. Sizi bangati munimvera. Hello, munimvera.
Nimvera maningi chabe.
Madam, it's very painful and chichamene chilangiza kuti vantu ndisowokuyakana maninga kambile. Madam, sure a child mwamene anabadwa mu 2010 lelo mumpase NRC. For what reason? Chamene yonse ya ma NRC yamene bapasa utubana 9 years. 9 years azankara na NRC yachani. 17 years mwana 15 years 14 years ma NRC ni yachani. Nanga bebe mukuganiza kwao, which means bafuna chabe wakabwele the time tikavote 2021 bafuna wakabwele kuti ai because ma rejects out of 2000 1000 rejects votes. For that reason ndio mwana bafuna wakabelele ma votes like what they did in 2016. Nakondwele what happened in 2016 and we don't want those things to happen again. Because what we are suffering here in Zambia, it's not good. We are suffering a lot. We are passing through into a lot of things. That's why every day, mayuthi uku bapaya muntu. Mundera uku mayuthi babera muntu. Uku mayuthi. Nothing we are doing in these compounds. People are staying day and day. Makombon. Vochita kulibe. But they're busy. They want to continue ruling this country. But they already polluted this country. They already polluted this country. But and then there is that video. We start watching that video around 12 something. That's when I saw that video. Where kamebachita kulwapula. Baprinta ma NRC. Na evidence ilipo. But why people they cannot? The reason they already bagwira kumalamulo. They nabeshuka ati nangu bamene banga kulibe banga bachite. Whether bachite bintu vili vao mpamvu ni zao. Kulibe amene anga chitepo chili chonse. Lamulo badakirirapo. Police si bamupenda. Nishinchito this is evidence. The police they want to that's when the police want to supposed to act anything they want because evidence ilipo. Maini RC ajamene wapanga ya boza ni achana. For what? Instead but the hand over kutawe as guys we are failed, completely failed. They don't want that. Even the fact that they know they don't want to accept it. They just want to continue with these things, some things, continue because vote is which is not very good. Madam, try to talk about this. Let's try to talk about this and try the way you can help us and how we can handle to change these things, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. You know, everyone is tired. We're going to be mixing Chinyanja na Chibemba na whatever, because the message ama NRCs, if we can pick a concept, majority of people who vote ni wajame ti masula nusula ti watu wanga vote bamewa kama vizungu bapa ma Facebook benangwa ibe na time yo vote, but this time we want the message to go everywhere. The people person my family so that waziwe kuti desperation yaba government. First, there is that money 1,600 kwacha, which they say you can go and collect the 1,600 kwacha. 1,600 kwacha is a lie, it's fake. People are registering their names, and when they go and collect, they tell them, oh wait, the money will be coming. Mukeleba Monse says desperate measures plunge you into greater difficulties because they are done without thinking. Okay, let's have Luhane Samuel. Luhane Samuel. Volume Muribe. Yeah, Luhane. Luhane Samuel, you need to produce put volume. Okay, let's have Maurice Walia. Maurice Walia, how are you?
Good, and you? How are you, Lydian and everyone?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you, Honorable. Yeah, I saw that. I was reading news and I saw those are 7 years. I think is it 7? I think there was someone with 7 years there amongst those kids. Nanga na energy. Desperation now my question was because if you are 7 years today, next year you are not going to look 18. Obviously, yes. you look 7, 8. You know, if you're 10 years, you look 10, 12. I mean 10, 11. You know, you still look young next year. Those, I don't know, maybe they just want to, I don't know, maybe there's another way they can rig, but yeah, from what I know, you have to be there to vote at the polling station. So yeah, it's a very sad situation. Yeah, Simbe sana we know. Yeah, we are really suffering. But you know, I can see, you know, I'm here in South Africa, but I can see. Yeah, I want to walk Karipa, even especially kuma stronghold, yeah, PF. Ooh, there's fire there. I can see Chera there is doing something, you know, and other people. You there in Munali, guys, you are doing the great work. Just continue. Yeah, and yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's my contribution there, and. Yeah, and I just wanted to ask you something. You dropped a line. There's a day when you are doing a live stream during the day. You dropped a phone number at MTN. Is that your WhatsApp number?
No. My WhatsApp number is the UK line, which is private. I use a UK line for WhatsApp.
Okay.
But you can go on that line, and you can go on that line, and my assistant will reply to you. The reason being that obviously, you know, everything I do now is now as a team to protect myself. So if you send a message on that line, I'll send you a message as to which number you can contact, and then you get directly my contact.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ish. And I'm looking also forward to join UPND groups here in Cape Town. If there's any UPND groups here, I'm looking forward to join those groups so that you know, we can just work
Yes.
together and
If
you know,
you
yeah, just take our country. Yeah. Sorry.
okay, if you send me a message on that number, if you have it, Nyota always drops it on my YouTube. It's there on my most of my videos. Just drop a message and I will let you know how we can be in touch. Is that okay?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And I'll leave it in the comment there. All right.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave
Yeah,
some space for some other people.
okay. Thank you so much for your contribution. There's a comment I've just read which is really powerful. Thank you so much, sir. Your contribution is very, very valid. Somebody has just posted a comment, and I want to read that comment. It's very powerful. I hope I can slide up to get the comment. The comment is about, you know, gender-based violence and the fact that we're having young girls having these NRCs. It was very, very powerful. Okay, another thing that I want us to talk about is, I don't know if you've come across the story of the drugs, the expired tablets that are being given to us as Zambians. So let me show you the image of how the drugs look like. Okay. So this is our current government that has ordered these drugs for $6 million. $6 million for this rubbish. Now, this is inside information. The person sent a message. Do you remember the honeybee pharmacy supply story? And here is the conversation, 60 million kwacha. So expired drugs are being distributed by the government of Zambia in a consignment worth 60 million kwacha. So an investigation has been carried out by the Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia, PSZ, which has revealed that the health kits recently distributed by government contain expired drugs. Now, this government needs to go because everything they do is not even making sense. There's a video I shared of the former ZAF general where he was saying they don't even know what they are doing. They are confused. Now, this is them ordering, they're distributing expired drugs. The PSZ President Jerome Kanyika, let me just mute all your sounds because it's echoing on my part. Jerome Kanyika has since called on the Ministry of Health to recall on the consignment of medicines worth 60 million kwacha, which was recently flagged off. Now, I don't even know why Dr. Chilufya is even the Minister of Health, because the man is as corrupt as something else. Too many things happening in his ministry, and yet he still serves as the Minister of Health. Buy just to buy food. And if you're not angry about this guy's characteristics, then I don't know what you're looking for. You need to change government. Okay, so Mr. Kanyika says most of the drugs have changed color. The drugs have changed color, indicating that they are not good. That expired application. According to Mr. Nika, the supply by hand pharmacy, which government to supply medicines, but Ministry of Health spokesperson Dr. Elko has refuted the allegations, stating that the latest expiry date upon most medicines is 2026. So this one, let us talk about the NRCs. So jumping to this current government doesn't even care that we even have paracetamol or Panadol in the clinics, and now they're even distributing expired tablets. Now, in my opinion, ngatinjala si mawani ngasi mo kanishika because atina na kamjamesa sapo pali park kutiba because kami ndio kwa sisi kama leo every day kanishika yamechishika every day pamono NRC Lee Chausha. Let's have Lee Chausha speaking. Shanik, you're not late. Hi, Lee.
Good evening. Hi, Lily.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Lily. Can you hear me?
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Yes, I can.
I thought that we have been stressful days, each and every day. We are working hard so that we can kick out
yes.
This government, the so-called PF. Tired of them.
Yes.
The only thing that I can say about that issue, just late for us and I don't know where we're going as a country, because they are forgetting that these people, they deal with human beings. As we are human beings who deserves better quality of drugs, better quality of health. But if they start doing this for the sake of ordering things which are expired, for them to have something at the end of it, I don't know where we're going as a country. They are forgetting that health is very important. They learn out from this country. They fly out from this country to seek medical attention. They care about their lives, but if really they care about our lives, why ordering expired things? But they even know that these things we are ordering is very expired. Sometimes this is what I call rubbish of this PF government. We are tired of them. Whatever they are doing something of which I fail to understand sometimes, really. I don't know where this government is taking us. They have failed, and the affairs, they just failed to say, okay, we have failed. Let's leave for others to lead this country, who have the passion for this country, than doing things of which to benefit themselves, to put their monies into their pockets. They are forgetting that health is very important in every institution. Health is very important thing. In every country, they put first health of the people. But them, I don't know. Sometimes I fail to understand this government really. They make me upset each and every day. We are on ground. We are seeing what this PF trying to do to us. They are planning to kill us before our time. For him to be called a health minister, him is a doctor. They have to understand these things. They understand these things properly than us. They have gone to the medical schools. They have done medicine, but how come a person who have the degrees, PhDs, can allow such a thing to happen in the country? They don't love us. They want to kill us before 2021 so that they find the one ways to rig the elections. I think this government, they just have to go. We are tired of them. We are fed up of the thing that they are doing. I'm very upset. I've seen a lot of things on social media, a lot of happenings. So I just don't know. Let me just end here, and then I leave room and space for others to contribute. Thank you so much, Liv.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much for your contribution. I love your point where you're saying, Dr. Chitalu Chilufya went to university to study medicine. How can he allow such? Now that's a very touching point. And you wonder, how would somebody decide to neglect their own people when their medical profession demands that they should look after the people? Because if you are on the medical board, register, you've signed up to providing a service. So such things should never even exist. You are neglecting the people of Zambia by accepting expired drugs. You are abusing your position of being a doctor to give people whatever medication is there. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Dr. Chitalu Chilufya needs to step down. He does not deserve that position. The guy is corrupt. He's morally corrupted as well. He doesn't even care about the welfare of the Zambian people. And the other day I was watching ZMBC and all I see is them praising Dr. Chitalu Chilufya and how the Zambian government is working. And I'm thinking, we who are going on ground, we can see the levels of poverty. And these guys are using ZMBC to preach the good news. And this is why the Zambian government has even been denied funding, because the Western world and whoever gives them funding has realized that they don't help people. And that's why they fired the governor. So that when the governor is fired, they can print money and they can do their dubious means. And, PF is a failed project. They know that they have failed. That's why they're trying to find a criminal offense against Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, so that he should never be on a ballot paper. But you cannot stop what God has started. Even in the Bible, it's there. When God gives you something, look after it well. But when you decide to pay people with evil, you stand no chance. And I will say this, I'm saying this today, I've never said this today. Those who think that they have more power than God, is either they will die or they will step down. It's either they give a chance to someone else or they will die. Remember the story of the rich fool that was looking at how rich he was. The next day, no, he didn't, he died. And this is what we will see with this current government. If they think they have all the power and all the muscle to be alive and to treat people like this, giving people expired medication, excuse me, tifuni katikaripe bonse. Sindise imbwa, bantu simbwa, bakuti muziba pasa MUNKWALA, zamine sifunika no sevenzewa, and then mukambati when you a minister, you a ndani. Simuganizirapo bunto y'abantu muganiza chabe bamine imo munga nkale imo mweka chabe mukaona bamine bantu abankalira umvera na chifundo kuli branch yamene linavula kumtendere na bana bafusa ti branch muzaita na tichani njala ibaba njala ibaba bantu
Touching.
And then you have a doctor who has sambirire skulu is abusing the position of being a doctor. Let me allow my friend Wale Mlenga to speak, please. And then, yeah, Wale Mlenga, how are you? I can see we have Mercy on standby. Hi, Wale Mlenga, how are you? Okay, let me unmute your volume. Because oh, we have Conrad as well. Okay, how are you, Walia?
I'm good. How is everybody here? I'm sure Bonzeta Turi will know apa.
Not
Due to what is happening in our country. Yeah, but what we should not forget is we have work, but we need to, obviously, we need this weapon of mass destruction. We need it in our hands and in our wallets, in our purses. Every day we need to have this. Yeah, this will help us. Otherwise, my contribution won't be that too long. I'll just talk about two things. The first thing, I'm sure each and everybody here saw the video from Kakama, where a certain man, I'm sure he had a Land Cruiser. He was he used some tribal remarks, which is not good for the country.
Yeah.
I haven't heard or seen anything online. Anyone to condemn that man from the ruling party. They are all quiet and they are comfortable with it. But if that continues in this country, where are we going? Where are we going? And the other thing is, these people who are serving in the government currently, 3/4 of them, they went to school free. It's the government which paid for them. One, they don't even care about the education of the Zambians. They are the same people who are giving fake medicine to the Zambians. Surely, is that fair to us? And someone will stand and say, that should be a crazy person to say that. That should be the craziest thing in this country. Surely, how can you dispense medicine which is expired to the Zambians? Do they want to kill us? Do they want to kill us or what? One day, sometimes nefya kuranda fira poa. Abantu na tukalipa. Thank you. Let others contribute.
Thank you so much for your contribution. I'll have Luhana Samuel. Messi, you wait because Luhana Samuel was here, but then his network was bad. How are you, Mr. Luhana Samuel? Oh, sorry, sir. Let me just unmute your sound. Hold on. How are you, sir? Mr. Luhana Samuel, you have to unmute your sound. Okay, I will have Mercy contribute during this live stream. How are you, my sister?
Hello. I'm well. How are you?
Fine, thank you. We've been missing you.
Oh, I've been missing the live streams, but I haven't been too well either. So I'm just recovering from a cold.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the video I saw on young people with NRCs. I was so shocked and very, very disappointed that this is the level that the PF are going to stoop to, because we all know that that is clearly something to do with elections and the plans that they have to rig them. They actually do not have faith in themselves because they don't have policies which have worked for the country, and they cannot come out and actually defend any of their policies. I mean, not too long ago, I was watching a program on It was live on Facebook from one of the studios. I can't remember which one it was, but there was Mr. Nawa there, and there was Mr. Chanda from the PF. And he actually tried to blame UPND for the NRCs. That, you know, we can't really tell. You know, if for all we know, it could have been UPND who just took NRCs and gave it to these young people and took photographs, and it's now being spread on social media. I mean, if your information is that accurate, then it shows the weaknesses that you have, or the weaknesses that exist in those systems of issuing NRCs, because in the first place, they shouldn't be issued to young people, regardless of who it is that you think, you know, is making sure that it goes to the young people. So it shows that there are weaknesses and that you're failing in your job to ensure that only those that are 16 years old or those that are of the right age are given the NRCs. So I was really disappointed with that. For PF, it seems to be like a theme. So anything that is criticized or anything that is exposed as to their failures, they tend to blame the opposition, which doesn't make sense to me, because your job is not to blame opposition. That is not the reason why you were elected into government. You are there to perform your duties and to ensure that you succeed in performing those duties, and not to blame the opposition for all of them. I mean, this government has failed so much to the point that, you know, whoever comes in, be it UPND or any other party, as long as it's not PF, even if they perform like where they do their bare minimum, they're going to look amazing, because PF has failed so much. That is the sad state of affairs where we are in Zambia. So I just feel really disappointed that our institutions are so weak, that we don't have systems in place to prevent fraudulent issuing of NRCs. And I'm even more disappointed that I'm not hearing a strong message from ECZ, because this clearly has an impact on the elections. It has an impact because when you have that card, it is likely you can register to vote in the same fraudulent way, and you can actually vote because you have those cards. And they haven't just gone to the young people, they've also gone to foreigners from the Congo. You know, it's really, really sad with what's taking place. And this is a failure, you know, of the current government, in that it has allowed institutions which are very important to the country, for them to operate without integrity, for them to engage in corrupt activities. So really, they cannot do their job. So they are unfit, and they need to be voted out. They have to go. And also, I was thinking with issuing NRCs to young people, it's actually a really bad example to them, to encourage them, you know, to engage in corrupt activities. Because you have to remember, these are going to grow up one day. They're going to be leaders. And what kind of leaders are you going to expect them to be? Probably they're going to end up to be corrupt as well. They're just going to be caught up in the same cycle. So when we go to vote in 2021, make sure that you vote wisely. And by voting wisely, vote for anyone else but PF. You cannot vote for PF. Any other candidate will do, but just not PF. Unless you want the little bit that is left of Zambia, you want that to go into foreign hands, then by all means, vote for PF. If you don't value your country, you don't value yourselves, that's the only way you're going to cast a vote for these people. They really, really need to go. They are not good for the country. And I do hope whoever is elected that comes into government, they're going to give a chance for our institutions to be strengthened again, like the Anti-Corruption Commission. We need these organizations to be stronger and to have integrity and to have you know, independence in how they do their roles. You don't want to see the likes of characters like Chitaluchi Lufia, you know, walking out scot-free, like they've done nothing wrong. You don't want to see cases such as those to do with fire trucks just to be buried in the ground, and it's all hush-hush. They're not doing anything about it. So those institutions need to be strengthened again, and their integrity needs to be restored, including the ECZ as well, because they seem to be quiet. They're very reluctant, because right now we should be hearing statements from them and what it is that they're putting in place to prevent, you know, issuing of NRCs to people who shouldn't have them, because that has a direct impact on voting. So it's very, very disappointing what is happening in the country. But if this doesn't tell you that you need to get rid of PF, then I don't know what else will. Maybe, you know, we're enjoying misery.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. So we have an important decision to make.
And what would be your comment, Mercy? The latest news at the moment is that there's a 60 million kwacha that was spent by our government towards the medication for Zambians, for the Zambian people. And the medication that has been ordered is expired medicine. What would you say about that?
That is shocking. I'm just hearing of this now. So I would say there is nothing wrong with spending on medication for the Zambians. It's an important thing to do. It's a necessity. You know, we all have a right to have access to health. But when you start spending millions of money on substandard products or products that are not fit for consumption, then there is a problem. It also speaks to the weaknesses in our systems where we don't check things. I mean, who did we order this medication from? And at what point did that supplier of the medication think it would be okay to supply medication that is expired, unless we are dealing with dodgy pharmaceutical companies? Which doesn't surprise me. If we can deal with non-existent pharmaceutical companies and allocate millions of dollars to them, it doesn't surprise me that we would deal with those who, you know, provide substandard or expired medication. So it's very strange. I would like a little bit more detail on that, because I don't know where we've ordered this medication from.
There is an image, Mercy, of the medication. And I'll be sending you the article on WhatsApp right now from Phoenix News, where the Zambia Pharmaceutical, Board, they are talking about this issue and how, you know, the government has decided to distribute medication which is expired, and the consignment of medicines were worth 60 million kwacha, which was recently flagged off. And Mr. Kanyuka, who is the head, has actually spoken about it. So, I mean, it's a shame that. Oh, sorry, let me just.
I mean, for these guys, it's epic failure every day. Every day they fail. Every day they do something wrong. Every day they keep disappointing the country. I keep saying PF is the gift that keeps on giving in terms of corrupt activities, in terms of rotten, degrading behavior. This party keeps on giving. They're like the bottomless pit. It never runs out. You can never get to the end of it. There's more and more under there, and it's just the worst of the worst. So they cannot continue to be in government. They cannot continue. I'm even surprised that there are people in this day and age who say we're constantly criticizing the government and we never praise them. Well, just look at what they've done. It has overshadowed anything which you can say they've done good. I actually challenge those people right now to say, tell me the good works that they have done, that PF has done. When it comes to oppression that Zambians are facing, tell me the good that they have done when it comes to standing up for the citizens of Zambia who have been oppressed by dodgy investors. Show me the good that they have done in there. Do you consider ordering Miles Sampa to apologize to dodgy Chinese investors? Do you consider that as something good and praiseworthy? You know, it clearly isn't. Do you consider ordering expired medication and spending 60 million kwacha on that? Do you consider that praiseworthy? It's clearly not. So it's because they keep on doing things that attract criticism, things that we are concerned about as citizens. This is why we continue to criticize them. I mean, they're doing the campaign for the opposition. by their wrongdoings. If they were doing good, opposition would not have a leg to stand on in terms of criticism. They constantly attack people who are wearing regalia from other political parties. I mean, what kind of a country are they trying to create? It simply doesn't make any sense. So this party has to go. I'm so saddened that we'll be giving out medication that is expired. At this point, let's say if they didn't realize that someone delivered expired medication, they should be sending it back. This should be a huge scandal. And whoever it is supplied this medication, their reputation would be at stake. So this supplier of the medicine, they would be doing everything within their power to ensure that they delivered the right medication, which was within the dates and that it hadn't expired. So, I mean, how is it even being issued? Who has signed the orders and said, yes, this is fit for consumption? Can you please distribute it to all the patients? Who has done that? Whose responsibility is it to do that? So these are the answers, these are the answers that we want answers to those questions, because this is happening now, and it's very disappointing in 2020 that we'd be dealing with things like this. It's really, really sad and very disappointing. And there you go. Can you imagine? That is PF for you. So it's on tapo, opot mwabomba.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Expired medication, we're pointing to that.
And can you imagine this, Mercy, and everyone else in this panel? People in the past would say, no, HH this, we're blaming HH with this and that. I mean, are you going to blame HH even for the expired medication? Because he has nothing to do with it. So let's see who needs to stop blaming HH with this and that. Is it Wiseman? Please turn off the sound, Mr. Morris, for the program on the screen. Can we have Wiseman please contribute? Wiseman, and then Luhana, what's happening to your network? Mr. Luhana, can you hear me?
Yeah, Wiseman on the line. Can I contribute or I wait for Mr. Luhana?
Mr. Luhana, can we hear you?
Can Wiseman contribute or is Mr. Luhana first?
Wiseman contribute because Mr. Luhana, he needs help with the sound. I think he's not doing it properly. Okay, Mr. Wiseman, how are you?
Fine, and how are you, Madam Lady?
Fine, thank you.
Good evening to all the panelists, and thank God, Mercy, you have recovered. We thank God. We need people like you. Shouldn't be getting sick.
Thank you.
Yeah, we need
I'll start with the issue of NRCs. I think that one, I think it is the ECZ who have failed to do their job. I think because they have seen that you have got people who are crooked, and you have got people who are thieves in mind. So it's them, the ECZ, who are trying to put our country on fire. Because if you say, okay, those children who were holding those NRCs, those were not their own NRCs. We have seen another image on social media, which someone has been issued a NRC dated 28 September. Today is 9 September. How can someone have an NRC which was issued the day which is not yet? So all those, there are evidence enough to see that these people, they are in a panic. But nevertheless, the only thing which we have to do, us as UPND, I think just have to work together and make sure that even if they use all the tricks, we are able to show them the door. Because I think these people, they are failed. I was watching movie TV today where Mr. Movita was featuring, and he was with that man called himself Sunday Chanda, who was just intelligent for nothing, where I was blaming UPND for such kind of NRC insurance. So me, I was surprised to say, how is UPND involved in that NRC insurance when they are not yet even in government? So you can see that in the PFIs, UPND is already working while in opposition. What if they enter into government? I think we are going to see see massive development. So for me, UPND is the way to go, and all people, it's the right time we have to work together and not to wait for Didi, not to wait for HH, not to wait for any other political party leader, UPND leader to go and start campaigning on us. It is us, the people, who need to do that job, because this is our win. It's not for HH win, not for Didi's win, it's for the people of Zambia's win. When it comes to medication, I mean, Madam Lily, it's just on a record. The minister you have, who's the minister of health, is a field project. If you can find an ordinary person like him who can fail to account for the COVID-19 patient, they have discharged the more patient than the patient they have in the hospital. What more can you expect? If you can have a minister who can allow an expensive ambulance carrying furnitures, taking to wherever they were taking them, a ambulance carrying a furniture, when you have got some women who are struggling in Chawama, in Munali, for the ambulance to take them to the hospital, and here is the minister using an ambulance to carry a furniture. What do you expect from that? So this issue, if you can have a minister who can give a contract to supply medicine to a company which does not exist, what do you expect? These are the scandals. So for me, that medicine, I'm sure it was just maybe donated. Now, because PF, they have turned this country into a dumping site, where if the other country they are saying our medication has expired, we need to throw them, PF will get on our behalf, bring them in our country, and they will bill us, the citizen, to say we have bought this. If you can have a country where the government, they have bought the vehicles for the police officers, to ask the minister how much was the price, the minister doesn't know. He's waiting for someone to tell him how much was those vehicles costing. What type of a government are we having? So all those scandals, just yesterday, they were disposing of meal meal. Imagine, madam, this my DMM meal, they brought meal meal to Central Province here to come and give people who are vulnerable. Then someone said this meal meal, according to what they have written, it is not good for human consumption. Huh? Imagine, they have brought those meal meal to start giving. Then someone who was on the group said, no, this meal meal, according to what I've read, what I've seen on the site, it is not good for human consumption, so don't give to the people. They were disposing of such kind of things. So imagine these people, they are in a desperate of doing whatever they want to do in the expense of us the Zambians. So for me, there is nothing good about PF. What they are doing is to enrich themselves. And I'm appealing to you, Madam Lily. I know next year you're going to be in office, you're going to be in parliament, and I'm appealing to our body as well. When you people held those offices which we are going to give you come 2021, make sure don't feel pity for these people. These people, they need to come here in Kawe to Mkobeko prison. That's where they belong. They are not humans, no. They have got human face, but they have got the heart of an animal. You can't give expired medicine to your fellow Zambian, your fellow human, and you are comfortable. You can't even feel ashamed as a minister. Even the president can't come on the podium and say, I think you have failed. I think it's high time you have to resign. He can't do that, because for him, everything which is with him, they are okay. It is us, the people who are feeling the pain. They can make the roads. Who's benefiting from those roads? Me, I've never been to the airport. Who's benefiting from that airport? So they can make those things on the expense of the loans. It is us, the UPND, is going to feel the pain of those loans they are getting today. So please make sure when you hold those offices, make sure let them pay back those loans on themselves, because they are the one who's consuming that money. How can a daughter of a president buy a land? Imagine, fenced a land, a forest. Who has ever fenced a forest? Even the man who's the richest person in Zambia, Barry, has never fenced a farm. He has got so many farms. He has never fenced. He is a chap that's coming from Chawama as a councillor, and he can manage to fence a forest. All those our money. We need them next year as well. Be acquiring those offices. Get that money on our behalf. Thank you very much. We are following the program.
Thank you so much for your contribution. I mean, somebody has just commented, just like what you're saying right now, your wise man. This person is saying this PF is out of control. This is too much garbage being subjected to Zambians. You know, when we're in school, we're being taught that, you know, when you put garbage in, you know, you have garbage out coming out, isn't it? So, I mean, what do you expect from people who are on Katondo Street? If somebody was on Katondo Street and was stealing from people, because majority of us who've dealt with people from Katondo Street, you know what has happened. They've crooked you. What do you expect? They'll come and steal from you because what they have is garbage in their head. You know, and that's why I call them grade twos. Because if these people had the mindset of somebody who's educated, who's learned and wants to help, their behavior would be different. But then you find that they are too thuggery. There's a video, by the way, an image as well of a UPND member whose house has been burnt down because he's not supporting the current government. Now, I've just seen a video, an interview of someone on Facebook from PF saying, we don't encourage violence. Well, I have personally encountered PF cadres twice, and I've also encountered a PF cadre on Sunday. And I said I was going to share this video. Basically, what happened was we were going to church on Sunday, and the transport I was expecting delayed, so we just got on our neighbor gave us a lift, and then we later saw a certain guy by the corner of Monali Secondary School, and he was like, you know, he called me by, oh, Honorable, the person called business. And I thought, okay, since this guy knows me, I might as well get on this car. And we had a cadre approaching us. Now, I want to show you the video of what the cadre did. I was in shock. He was on the bonnet of the car constantly until we reached near to our destination. And his point was, Suzapanga Ndarama Pano. He wants to be paid first before anybody can pass through. So I'm about to show you the video. It's just here because I've received so many messages on Yeah. Okay, so let me show you the video. It's just a brief video I'll show you, but this is what the guy was doing. So he decided to be on the bonnet of the car. Let me put some volume. Okay. Because there's corrupt copyright music. So that was him now on the bonnet of the car. So I'm planning to share this video. I want to record it, edit, and talk about the experience and just show you. So he was not going to leave. This is a cadre. This is the government that we have now, where we have useless people like this who feel they have the audacity and the power to behave however they want to behave. This is our country, Zambia. Look, this can never happen in Nigeria. We say Nigeria has got lots of people who are rough, who are rude. I don't think this can happen. Let's, by all means, get rid of this government. So you see, the car stopped and he said, you will not make money. This was my first time encountering a cadre who is bored. And then he now started fighting the guy now. They now started exchanging punches. This is our Zambia of today. So we have, I'll add Shadrach. Hi, my honorable councillor. Shadrach is here. And then I also have Craig as well that I'm adding. Thank you so much. So let me see what William hasn't yet spoken. Can we please have William or United Zambia? Hi, William.
United Zambia online.
Okay, let's have United Zambia. United Zambia, how are you?
Fine, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Are you getting me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So grateful to be online.
Okay.
And hello.
Yes, yeah, can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, carry on, sir. Carry
Yeah.
on.
Zambia is really in a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm getting on. I say Zambia is really on a mess. We really need to do something. And the only chance we have is next year, 2021. We have to deliver this nation at all costs.
Yes.
I'm such a kind of person who is so much fed up of this division, tribalism, and so on. You know, I miss the old Zambia we ever had, which was full of peace, a country where you could just feel like, okay, this is the nation I have. The country was so beautiful, but it has gone to waste. It's something that you cannot be proud of. Uh, Coming to the issue that you are talking about concerning the NRCs, this is so
Yes.
disheartening, and it's something which just happened just here in Eastern Province, of which
Yeah.
it is something that somebody we just have to make a follow up at least. It is traceable. Looking at the same NRC, it is traceable. We can find these children and at least do something.
Yes.
So we just need
Yes.
to organize. We can't just let this thing pass like that. Some things we need to put an end now before it graduates to 2021. We need to act now. We need to get organized and stop certain vices like this one. You know, that photo shows about 5 children, and then it means a lot of children got the NRCs even at the age of 14 and 13,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
it will directly affect the results of 2021. So we need to do something
Yes.
concerning this. It is so serious. So we need to do something.
Mm.
It's not just about the president. It's
Yes.
not just about the MP. We need to work collectively. So that one is really dangerous. It might affect us in 2021 because this is a scheme that they planned a long time ago. These people, they are very crafty. They know what to do and they know what they are doing. So if we just leave them like this, at the end of time, things may not add up. You see, they brought the same NRC thing in phases. They say the other phase will start about 2 to 3 days to come. So of which
Yes.
the same, I don't know if it will be as loose as the way it was in this first phase, because like when it goes to other parts, they'll be very strict and the people will be observing whatever is happening. So already, if
Yes.
that to us it was disadvantageous. So quite all right, the atmosphere is so welcoming. The signs are there that surely 2021 is us, is ours. Come rain, come sunshine, we are being delivered from this wickedness.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yes.
we really have just to work hard. We really have to work hand in hand. And surely, I really encourage the top officials for the UPND. At least most of them, they should move about, more especially in the areas where they perceive that it's the home ground for the PF. They need to do a lot of work there because they have invested a lot of people. They are there. They have done a lot. So we need also to campaign so much in such areas so that as the results will be coming out, we should cut on the margin. We should reduce the margin in this perceived stronghold. But as for now, there's nothing like stronghold the way I look at things, because almost everyone
Oh,
is fed up. Almost everyone in the villages,
oh yeah. Yeah.
everyone is fed up. So there is
Yeah.
nothing like this is stronghold, this
Yeah.
is what. But now what they have is just the tactics, the tricks, and mathematics, of which also we have to be very smart when handling this issue. and we have to sort them one after the other before 2021. A lot of vices should be put to rest. Otherwise, there is a way. 2021, we are getting this one. Zambia will be free again.
Okay.
You know.
Yes, thank you so much
It
for your
has.
contribution, sir.
Thank you
So much for your contribution. I just want to read something that I've just come across here before I let Shadrach speak because he's losing signal. Somebody just made a statement that, ECZ under PF government have decided to delete all of the voters' cards by, voters by next month to make a new register. This is to say all of us voters who are busy posting voters' cards on social media saying we are waiting for 2021 will not be valid voters. The whole current ECZ register thrown away for a new one to be orchestrated within a month, apparently even when history has proven otherwise. But remember that as we speak right now, not all Zambian regions are getting the privilege of obtaining, NRCs for voters registration. That is to be conducted next month. This is therefore evidently suggesting that places like Dundumwezi won't even have an opportunity to have the same or favorable number of voters to exercise as it were in the previous general election. This is therefore evidently, okay, so the current political trend shows that it will be hard, meaning it will be difficult to have access to voters registration in non-PF strongholds next month, just like it is difficult right now for NRCs collections in such regions. As we as citizens, we are able to petition Home Affairs, we're able to petition ECZ, Home Affairs, and all relevant authorities to reconsider until we see long queues of NRCs collections in South and Western and all the other places. That's a very, very powerful statement on a screenshot that I've just come across. Let's have Shadrach speak, and then if we can have Shadrach speak, and then we'll also have, after Shadrach, we'll have William, Mr. Chongo, and then Craig, and then Kochangwe and my friend Conrad. He's got enough Wi-Fi where he lives. How are you, Mr. Shadrach, who's an aspiring councillor of Kalikiliki? Thank you so much.
Okay.
How are you?
So very much for the privilege. I'm blessed, thank you. How are you, Honorable Lilian Mtambo? Can you hear me?
I'm fine, thank you. I was in Yes, I can hear you. I was in Kalikiliki earlier today.
Oh.
How are you?
Oh, wow. That is, you are doing, I'm all right. You're doing a brilliant job. It's just that network is cutting, like there's an echo that is coming through, but you are really doing a great job. I appreciate whatever that you are doing. You are stirring up the atmosphere of on the ground. Amen. So Honorable, continue doing whatever you are doing. All you need is a lot of support, from people, because really you are helping a lot of people. You are sponsoring programs. You are empowering the empowerment that you are doing, the youths and the women. It's really changing the atmosphere for UPND on the ground, like to be specific in that you're under, you are taking part in sports, you are taking part in this and that. So it's really powerful that what you are doing, continue doing what you are doing. We'll support you, Honorable, and we believe that when that day comes, you'll be one of those people that will be adopted. Amen. So sorry, let me let me not enter into church. Okay. So I'm really proud of you. because you are one kind of really giving confidence to even you're encouraging even the youths to stand up, to realize that it's not time for them to sleep, but to fight for their rights. So you are one kind of a candidate whereby when you stand firm and speaking to people, and it's like you have that force that makes them to listen to you understand. So even the speech itself, it is so promising and giving hope to people. And I love the fact that you don't just speak using your mouth like verbally, you love action. That is one of those things that I love about you. You are one kind of a person that is into action. You don't just sing songs, no, tomorrow, yesterday, what. So I really love that part, because it is more like, because even myself, I don't like just speaking like verbally. Yeah, I like acting. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes. So
it's important. I can hear you.
One other
it's
thing.
Important that we yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so I just want to urge you to continue, even to do more, even the people that are listening right now, watching your program. If there are those people that are interested to come through and help you, please, I'm urging those people to just come through, because you are not helping, throwing your donations on waters. Okay, you are actually helping somebody that has a vision for the people of Zambia. It is not actually easy for somebody to come from honey to where they are, to where the I don't know, to where there's I don't know, piri, here, like from UK to just come, and because it is because of the heart that you have for the people of Zambia. Okay, I don't know if it's just that there are a lot of people that that are watching you from all over the world. I could have used my local language to say some of the things, but you are actually one of those vibrant.
Speak the local language. Speak
Okay,
local language is fine.
Okay, okay, you are that kind of a person that moved from honey, where you are drinking honey, you are enjoying your life with your family and all that. Mwafuma kulia mwaisa ku kumpashi. It's more like bakubika pampashi epo mwaisa ikala. Where the government is busy, threatening you. There are a lot of people, because I've seen a lot of comments from different people. They're busy threatening you. They're busy, looking for you, like, searching where you stay, those kind of things. Why? Because of the noise, because of the noise that you are making on the ground. Okay, so what I encourage you is that just continue whatever you are doing, because you are taking. See, there are a few candidates that are coming up the way you are doing things. Okay, you are just doing things in your own way, like you are so unique. You are somebody that is very humble. You are social. You can socialize with this one, that one. You are, you're raising your powers like your shoulders. You're not that kind of a person. So I've actually seen a heart in you. Okay, and yeah, that's what I can say. Now, coming to this, this issue of I just want to say congratulations for whatever that you are doing. Okay, now coming to the issue of NRCs, it is so unfortunate that
I wasn't expecting.
Thank you. Okay, as somebody, because I can assure you, there's something that happened with me in 2016. I was the youngest councillor. I don't know if I was I was 21 by then. That was in 2016. I don't know if I was 22. Yeah, but then I was the youngest councillor standing in Lusaka. So the difference was very slim. The difference was more like 196. But in that ward, because then it was Chinda ward 29. So there was a problem where my face, like Shine Zambia,
Yes.
they took the face of a councillor from Munali ward, from another ward, and they brought her face in place of my face. Okay, so it was very bad. So it was very visible. It was something that, because it was in my ward, there were some trickeries that those people were doing. Okay, there were some games that they played, bringing in my ward, in China ward 29, somebody's ballot, okay, instead of my ballot. And that was my stronghold. That was where I was voting from, because I was voting from here in Zambia, and most of my family members were voting from the same area. Now I was surprised to see another person's face on my ballot. So I was so shocked. So we tried, because by then our party gave us that is Martha Mushipe fame. So we tried to push things here and there, but nothing could work out, because mine was visible. It was very much visible. So they have their way of playing games, these people, and they pretend to be Christians. When they come to you, they will give you a brown envelope. You people, if you are here and you are listening to the sound of my voice, I'm encouraging you, when they bring that brown envelope, just get it. And Basata said, when they bring that money, grab it and eat, because it is your money. It is your money. You are entitled, to that money. So get that money and know what to do with it. Eat it. When they bring this sendeni, lieni, much they enjoy, because they are enjoying. Because right now, in this PF government, there's no one that has been arrested. Looking at the issue of Chitali Chulufia, Chitotela, and these other ministers, they've been acquitted. So when it comes to the law enforcement, there's nothing that is really happening. They've been neutralized by this PF government. Has been neutralized. There's no law and there's no freedom of speech, because whenever you try to, because there was a time I just posted a very simple video on Facebook. I was complaining over something, and then they began to threaten me, like they began to call me. I don't even know where they got my number. Okay, they began to call me, what you are saying. So it's more like they've deployed some people, okay, to just be threatening, youths around, because one, you cannot speak out here in Zambia. This is our country. I don't know where we run to, because you see, you can. I tell you, in other countries like South Africa, there's freedom of speech. People are able to speak out. That's the reason why even the economy is running. The strength of their economy is good. So now looking at Zambia, whenever you try to speak up, okay, they'll threaten you, they'll follow you, they'll try to arrest you. That is where the problem is. There's no freedom of speech in our country. So we are even failing. Sometimes I even feel like it's better I belong to a different country. I don't feel, that Zambianness. I don't feel that Zambianness. It's more like somebody has taken away my Zambianness from me. Okay, I don't feel good. Okay, while you are in a country, you are seeing things are rotting to the core. Okay, you are seeing a lot of ambiguous, activities taking place. Okay, but there's no proper adjudication of these things. Okay, the government is so corrupt. You look at cadres who actually go at a police station and beat up police officers, and police officers, they are failing to react. Why? Because they are scared of losing their job. Okay, so this is what is shaking Zambia. And whenever the opposition comes in and speaks, because an opposition is there, you know, to provide checks and balances for a nation. For example, I'll give an example of South Africa. We have people like Julius Malema. You see the job that he's doing, Julius Malema. Okay, so when it comes to Zambia, when an opposition tries to control them, they will enter into the issue of privatization. They'll bring the issue of tribalism, the issue of this, the issue of that, which is totally wrong. These people, it seems they have no brains. They have no brains. You know, I fail to understand these government officials, because they act like children. They act like newly born babies. It's like, you know, instead of looking at the welfare of the country, they begin to talk about useless issues. They begin to talk about, you know, privatization on TV. And when look at ZNBC, Prime TV is closed, so there's nowhere you can hear, you know, proper news. You know, when news starts, it will start with COVID-19, and it will start with Edgar Lungu, and it will end with COVID. People that are TV, they can't even show an opposition like campaigning. They'll only be showing it's a TV station for PF. Okay, it is so this is not good. It is more like I'm just being forced to live in Zambia. I don't feel, you know, that feeling. I don't have that feeling of belonging to my own country. It is more like somebody has taken away my rights. There's too much dictatorship, you know, in this PF government. I'm really failing to understand. So this is one kind of thing that we need to look into as youths. We need to stand up, okay, and look into these issues. Never should you, you know, just remove the spirit of fear. The spirit of fear, whether they threaten you, they do this and that. Go on social media and post whatever you want to post. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. The issue of NRCs, they've started from their, you know, their strongholds. Okay, they're trying to prevent, they want to try by all means to leak the elections. When you look at the issue of social transfers, money, social transfer, the money that they are calling, you know, like help for COVID, the only people that are benefiting from that are cadres. If you don't belong to PF, you will never see any coin. You will never see any coin until you go and, you know, under 6 feet. Not PF. They are getting lists for PF members. That money belongs to Zambians, and the people that sponsored that, you know, that donated that money, it's not the PF. Okay, it was donated for the people of Zambia. Everyone is entitled, you know, to that money. Now, unfortunately, what is happening is that they are getting lists. PF, if you don't belong, if you are not on the list of these PF guys, I tell you, you never test that. You never test. So unfortunate that this is a country that has so many resources. So many resources. You know, coming to land, they are giving land to Chinese. They are doing this and that. You cannot. It seems there's nobody that can control them. I don't know what Sadiq is doing. I don't know what these people. I don't know. Otherwise, the situation in Zambia, I tell you, it is very much worse. It is worse. I even feel ashamed to be a Zambian. I feel very ashamed to be a Zambian. Okay, why? Because of what the government is doing. There's too much corruption. There's too much, you know, cadalism. You know, the police that are being brutally used. Okay, so I don't know. But these are some of the issues that are affecting us. You know, looking at jobs. You know, people are losing jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, but the government The Chinese are chasing people.
Okay. I think we've lost his signal. Thank you so much, Pastor Shadrach. Shadrach is an aspiring councillor of UPND for Kalikiriki ward, and you can feel his pain.
In us,
put him back.
or rather imparting in us. So we need to be very, very strong as youths. We stand.
Yeah. Okay, we've lost him again. Okay, so you can hear from his contribution that he's going through a lot. It's a lot of things that we're going through in Zambia. For those of us who are here on ground working, can we please have Craig to contribute? Hi, Craig.
Hi, Lily. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm fine,
yes, I
thanks.
Can hear you.
It's very late at night. My babies are asleep, so I just figured let me, contribute to the show as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's late. Yeah, but I thought let's just do this thing because it's now or never.
Yeah. First of all, Lily, I would like to commend you, for what you've done. Live in the UK. I live in the UK myself. And obviously I've followed your background, in healthcare. I know the enormous challenges you had to deal with, working as a social worker. And I feel you'll be very vital for the Zambian economy. And I hope that the Manali, is it Manali constituency? I hope they adopt you as an MP.
Yes.
And I hope the people get to vote for you. And most importantly, I hope His Excellence HH, gets to include you in his cabinet when he gets to form the cabinet. We need people like yourself who are exposed. Because the problem is that people don't know what to expect from the government. The government, hospitals. Look at the situation of the hospitals, like the way the situation is. They can afford to fly out, go overseas, and get their medical bills. The last time I was seeing a video where you were contributing, I think you bought some footballs, for the kids. Like there's a lot the government hasn't done for the people, and we need people that are exposed. People that have been there. They see how other people in the developed world, how they work, and they are able to apply that in our economy as well in Zambia. So I wish you all the best, and I hope the UPND adopt you, and I hope HH adds you into his cabinet. So much love, and I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much for your contribution. I'm humbled. Everyone is cheering me up. I'm really, really humbled. It's not easy, especially working with people who have different minds. But
it's not easy. Hi, Lily. I know it's not easy, but I know you're gonna do it. I know how the complex cases social workers get to deal with in the UK. Very complex cases. Yeah. And if you can bring that, if you can bring that to Zambia, people, yes, it will be new, and people get to learn how the system needs to work effectively. We need institutions that are going to be auditing all these government establishments. Like obviously, I know I'm comparing what we go through here, like whether it's the health sector, you've got independent organizations that come in to see the books, to see what's happening, what's going on, how is the money being spent. You need that system. You don't need people that know each other. They come and sit, have a cup of tea. People that have come in to do the audits. They already know each other. You know, at the end of the day, they go to drink with one another, you know. So I'm hoping that, you know, the new government, because there is need for a new government. And yes, some people say, oh, what UPND, you know, they want to talk about all this, you know, tribalism and everything. People need to really sit down and think, what's really going on in their household? What's in your fridge? How are you going to come up with the money to pay for school fees? How are you going to, you know, extra activities? Because it's not just school fees. You know, some people, they've got talent, football. How do you come up with all this money? Transport money, you know? How are people, if people really sit down and think like, you know what, how are we going to come up with this money? We don't have this money, you know, the government's not going to give it to you. So what do you have to lose? You know, I'm an Aoshi person. I'm from MUNKWALA province. You know, I grew up in Lusaka. I'm very much Zambian, you know. Yes, I've heard his speeches. He's very intelligent, very articulate, and he's answered all these questions people are asking. You know, some people, I hear some people say, oh, why doesn't HH use his money to do this? Why doesn't HH? Where in around the world, where even Donald Trump is a billionaire, have you ever seen him spending his own personal money to pay for services or, you know? So they shouldn't expect that from him. You know, he's worked hard, he's got his wealth through hard work, and it can happen. You know, there are people who've got money. Some of them, they don't talk, they're not in the media, you know. So people need to realize that there is a man who's very articulate. He answers questions. I'm not going to speak on the other side because we know we haven't had people answering any questions. You know, there are a lot of things, even in the UK, we hear about all these different things that happen. We heard about the fire trucks, the ambulances. I saw some pictures. You know, sometimes you think, is this Photoshop? Are people hating on the government? Really? Can somebody really buy such an ambulance? Like, can somebody, you know what I mean? Like, this is taxpayers' money. Like, people pay for these services, you know, so they should expect the government to do something good for them. So for me personally, healthcare, education, you know, that should be very vital. You know, it's a very important aspect of one's economy. You know, the people I've seen you going in the shanty compounds. Yeah, the shanty compounds. You know how much people spend on is it rape and all this other stuff. How do people manage? How do people manage to send their children to schools? There are a lot of universities in Zambia. Which people, an average Zambian, can they afford to take their children to Cavendish, to all these institutions, even Evelyn Horn, all these institutions? Where are they going to get the money? Because it's not just going to study. One needs money to, you know, maintenance, you know, look after yourself, you know, all this, you know, groceries. It's not just saying, oh, there is a school there. You know, some people have got 6 points. They can't afford to go to UNZA, you know. How do they look after themselves? How do they look after their families? In our culture, we've got extended families. How does we all live together, you know? So you are exposed, Lily. You've been in the UK. You know how the system works, yeah, and you know how what is accountability. You know, from a professional point of view, as a social worker, you know what being accountable is. You know, people have entrusted you with that position, and they expect you to deliver. You know. And some MPs are approachable. In the UK, you can write to your MP and he will respond to you. Yeah, you write, oh, I've got this problem, why is this, you know? And I know you were speaking about the honorable, who's the current honorable in your constituency. The people haven't seen her. Some people don't even know who she is or where she is. She's got money. She's comfortable. What about the people that put you in that position? You know. So when people go 2021, when you're going to vote, people really need to think about how they need to reflect on their lives. How has life been the last 5 years? You know, what have we been able to do as a family, you know, under this current government? You know, so people need to ask themselves those questions, and I hope people give HH a chance. You know, he is
Yes.
self-made.
Yes.
I don't belong to any political party, just in case people say, hey, you know, this guy is UPN. I don't belong to, and I hope HH is listening as well. You know, so I hope you give him a chance, and I hope you give Lily a chance as well, because she's got experience.
Thank you so
much. Yes, they might say, oh, we haven't seen her here, but you know, your resume speaks for itself. You've been in the UK, you've studied here, you've worked here, and you know what it is to work here, especially for people, you know, who've migrated. You know, I'm not going to go into that. I'm a professional as well. I don't want people saying, oh, Craig, why did you say that? You know, I'm not going to do that. But you know the challenges you have to deal with. So I know you will deliver, and I'm hoping the people of Munali go out and they vote for you, and I hope UPND they adopt you as well. You know, so I wish you all the best. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution and your love. You know, one of the things that I've been doing in my constituency, Munali, due to the levels of poverty presently, is that I've been, you know, donating 100 trays of eggs per branch, so that the people can use that to support themselves, to sustain themselves. It's not
exactly
easy.
Yeah. And
just
to add on to what you're doing, Lily, that's empowerment. I don't know where this phrase comes from. You know, it's better you teach one how to fish than giving them fish. So for those people that are getting these brown envelopes, yes, it's your money. You know, you can eat it, do whatever you want to do with it. But I think it would be more appropriate if people were empowered, you know, to sustain themselves. You know, I would like to receive a brown paper bag, and you know, and spend that money. But you know, it's very empowering what you're doing, empowering the people, that they shouldn't just go out and be beggars. At least they've got something to do. Zambia is a rich country. You know, Lily, when you compare the two countries, the UK and Zambia, resources wise. And I'm talking about even the fertility of the land. When you talk about the minerals, you know, all these different resources, water bodies, Zambia is vastly rich, you know, but it just needs good leadership. It needs leadership that will take Zambia, you know, to a different place, you know, it's otherwise, you know, so that's what I gotta say, Lily. All the best, 2021. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And if you want to support our egg project or buying balls for the kids in the community, let me know. Every little helps at the moment. Anything
definitely I'm down for that. And you know, I don't know what the situation is like in the hospitals, how people are really, you know, because there are some ailments where some people who are capable, who are able, they have to go overseas. They go to India, they go to all these countries. What about the ordinary Zambian person that can't afford? Where do they go? Yeah?
It's really sad. It's really sad.
Where do they go? You see these cases, the health, the corruption that was there, you know, like people getting acquitted, you know, that's millions of money. You know, people really should wake up and, you know, rise up to the occasion. You know, I feel give HH a chance, and like anything else, you know, you evaluate after 5 years. If he hasn't delivered, then we have to come back to the drawing board and see who else can take on the job.
That's true. Definitely, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is going to be given a chance by the people of Zambia. And that's why the current government is trying to fight him, so that he should have a criminal offense, and then he should never appear on the ballot paper. And that's why Madam Edith Nawakwe as well came fighting him as well. Because if the PF government have done their intelligence work where they did a survey, and according to the survey, if there was an election today in Zambia without even the president of UPND, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, campaigning, he would win the elections. So that's why they're trying by all means.
And Zambians are awake. Zambians, we're not sleepy people. We are very much awake. We know what's going on. You know, you can be fooled once, fool me twice. It's not happening. So I'm sure they're going to vote wisely. You know, they're going to vote wisely. Come what may come, you know.
And the thing is, what it is with the situation at present, it may look as if people, they're not voting for UPND, or maybe they're not supporting UPND. It's because a lot of people are protecting their jobs. The PF government is very ruthless. They will stop your contracts. People have lost jobs. So we have people in uniform. I'm talking about police officers. They are UPND. Soldiers are UPND. Army people, you name it. Zambia Air Force, they're UPND. They are all just quiet. You know, PF government will get a shock of their lives during the elections. They will not
let
get
the vote. Let the vote speak for itself. Yeah, definitely. Let the vote speak for itself.
No.
Yeah, peace,
No,
love, and happiness. You know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. Craig. So the details about financial support through Western Union or World Remit are down below, and everybody who contributes, you get copies of receipts of where the money is spent. I like to do things that way, so that
all right. Thank you.
You know that we mean business. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's have Mr. William Mbuyanda, then Mr. Kwachangwe, then Conrad. Yes. William, how are you? Okay, let me check your sound again. Hold on. Yeah. How are you, Mr. William? How are you, sir? Check your sound, please. It's late now, it's midnight here. Messi is working tomorrow and Mr. Kwachangwe. Okay, let's have Mr. Kwachangwe contribute, please. How are you, sir?
Really. I'm well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I am blessed. I'm blessed here in Zambia.
Oh, wow. I'm missing some vitamin D, you know. I was told I've lost a little bit of vitamin D because of lack of the sun. So I'm looking forward to coming to Zambia as well.
Yes, you have to. You need to, please. You need
to.
Yeah.
It's a pity, really, looking at the NRCs to see that children are now being given NRCs. Where is our country going to? The issue of seeing a family being firebombed or whatever they threw that's really, really sad. I suppose that's just a tip on the iceberg of what the country is going through. And I suppose, like everybody else in the country, they are very much in pain. I think by nature, because by nature, Zambians, we are very sort of, I would say we are Christians. We are very good at heart and very generous. So therefore, no wonder our governments, political parties have taken advantage of the Zambian people because of the way we are. But at the same time, I think Zambian people are not foolish. They know what's happening. Even with all these debates that have been talking about privatization and all the nitty-gritty that has been going on. It's really, we can talk about that. We can talk about privatization, yes, all those stuff. But what about the issue of lack of jobs now? The issue of electricity now? The issue of the kwacha, losing the currency, dropping to such a a rate where we are now, our country is going into like Zimbabwe, you know, when our country is very rich. So there are issues at hand that need to be addressed, which we think the government haven't addressed. And the pity thing I can say is what is very, very painful is if you have a government that doesn't speak. Yeah, the issue of NRCs being seen, you know, there should be somebody coming out and, you know, telling the nation why these things are happening, but they've kept quiet, you know. That goes to show that the people that we elected to lead us as Zambians, they have no respect for Zambians. You know, that's what they say. Power corrupts, and I think that's why we think as Zambians, it's high time that we restored our country. We need to restore confidence in our institutions so that services for the Zambian people will be provided for. Otherwise, if we continue with the status quo, in a few years from now, we'll have no Zambia. Our country will be ripped off. And it's the future generation that will suffer. I think in a nutshell, I would say that PF has done a very good job in a sense that it has shown what the government is supposed to do for the Zambian people. What is the bad and good, you know, it's given us to see that really their legacy will be known by everybody in the books. We will remember PF for its corruption. We remember PF for a government that never spoke out for the Zambian people. We remember PF for all these injustices that we're seeing, the political party that is very much driven by cadreism and all these things. And I hope and pray that even as the new government comes, whichever new government that will come in, they should open their eyes to understand that things have changed. The culture of silence that was before has changed because of social media. So there's nothing that will be swept under the carpet that will not be known. So there has to be transparency in the government. People are aware of what's going on, and any government that comes into power should know that they'll be held accountable for all the promises that they make. As much as we look forward to a new government, whether it be HH, whoever it will be, but I think there's a very high expectation for the new government that will be coming into power. So I just pray and hope that, you know, the Zambian people vote wisely and persevere. I know there's a lot of fear going on in the country because, as you said, lack of people they don't want to lose their jobs, so they have to put food on the table. They have to buy electricity. They have to earn a living. So they have to be silent in a way. But at the same time, I think it's time we change the government. Zambia is a very, very democratic country. And I, for one, I feel I have confidence in the Zambian people that they will choose wisely, because we know we had the President Kaunda, we had the UPND, what was that? UNIP. Yeah, we had UNIP. We had MMD, and now we have PF. Yeah. So all these governments came and they went, and you know, so it's not as much as PF is masking its muscle at the moment, but their days are numbered. That's the only way I can say. Zambian people are tired of sleeping in the dark, load shedding, all this kind of stuff. We want to talk about how we will restore electricity, how we restore, you know, our institution, the medical institution, like we are talking about, those expiry medicine. What in the world? Which pharmacy will supply expired medicine? Because that the government is not taking care of these people, because any government has to pay attention to detail. You know, it's lack of detail because that there's a complacency in the people who are supposed to be looking after this institution. And that leads to mediocre kind of government. So where the world is at now, we need a robust government that who cares for the Zambian people. This idea of PF, which is very much, as I've said time and time again, it's very much inward looking. It's very much about, you know, giving money to the cadres and all this kind of stuff. It's not about one Zambia, one nation. I'm looking forward to a party that will embrace the one Zambia, one nation, so that it can restore confidence in every Zambian, regardless of where they come from, whether they are poor, young, or old. we need to be restored back to the place where, as Zambians, where you are in the diaspora or where you're in Zambia, we need to have the pride that other countries have, like Botswana, South Africans, Nigeria. They are proud to be Nigerian because of the economy and the strength of their government. But if our country is looked upon as a country which has become like a second-class country, it doesn't do any good. We need to restore confidence in the Zambian people, and it's up to the government will. Is the only governments that can restore that confidence. So I think it's really sad to see that the government is not listening. It's not paying attention. That goes to show all that people that complained about. No one has come out and addressed all these issues. That goes to show where they are at. And I think if you are religious, the Bible says you shall know them by their fruits. And what we see time and time again is mediocrity after mediocrity after mediocrity. And no one is coming out even to explain why things are happening the way they're happening.
No.
What is that? What does that show?
No.
It shows that actually they are taking the Zambian people for granted, So this is where we are at Zambia. And I think I just hope and pray that next year there will be a big, massive change, and that our institutions will be restored, because these parties have destroyed our country. We have leaders who are very greedy, and every institution in Zambia now is driven by greediness, because everyone wants to make money. And it's sad that in Zambia, Zambians are attacking other Zambians, stealing from other Zambians, which is really, really sad.
Yeah.
How do you steal from your other fellow Zambian? How do you attack another fellow Zambian? When they're actually foreigners who are making money out of our resources. It's really sad. Someone puts what is this? Like a solar system, whatever, on their roof. They have to put boats because they are scared that someone will steal it. You can't park your car in the street because someone will steal your tires. It just goes to show how low our country has gone. There's no law in Zambia. We need to restore the rule of law in our country. We need to restore confidence in our country. We need to restore pride in our country. Just as some of us who are here, we know how it is to be a citizen. When you're proud, people are empowered. That's the health of the nation. So honestly, for me, it's really sad. It's very painful to see what's going on in our country. Like the other brother said, I'm not proud to be a Zambian anymore. I feel ashamed to be a Zambian at the moment because of all these injustices that's happening. And especially, as Messi said, the silence of the government is even much more deadly than any other thing, because they're not speaking. And that just goes to show how for granted they have taken the Zambian people. And I think it's high time, come 2021, things must change in our nation for the better and for the prosperity of our nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Uncle Kwachangwe, for your contribution. Amazing contributor. Zambia is really a different country from what we left it. Some of us who've been away and are always just coming to visit. When you're here on ground, you can see the levels of poverty and how the only solution to PF is money. PF don't have a vision to help the Zambian people. And one thing I keep on asking the people in the communities each time I go through is this question, are you happy with what's going on presently? Ngati njala imi babani, then you need to get rid of this current government. And majority of them, they are not happy with this government. So many of them are not happy. And so many people are speaking all over social media. We've had leaked videos and audios of people who are close to the government saying all sorts of things. And if you see anybody defending this government, it's because they are recipients of the brown envelope. But for us who don't receive any money, we are using our own resources to push the agenda. We genuinely love our country, Zambia. And this is what I've always wanted to preach to the people of Zambia who live in Zambia, that you need to be very patriotic about our country, and don't be scared to speak to people out there about the current leadership, so that we should educate as many people. But I can assure you, over 90% of people are aware of what the government is doing. Maybe those in the villages, they may be given a bag of rice and goat meat, and they will forget their problems. But for us who are in the cities, we are feeling the pressure and the pain of what's going on. Right now, the dollar is $1 is equal to 20 kwacha, and it's been predicted by next year, 2021, the dollar will be at 51 kwacha. And our current government has also been denied loans because they do not repay back. So thanks so much for your contribution. Let's see if we can have William. William, if we cannot hear you, then we'll have Chongo. So between the two of you, anyone who can speak up out loudly, if we can hear you, then you can take the floor. Thank you so much. So William, if you can speak and we hear you, then go ahead. If not, Mr. Chongo. I can't hear you, William. Try to sort out your sound, Mr. William. Can we have Mr. Chongo?
Okay.
Can
Good
we hear
evening,
him?
Honorable.
Yeah, thank you. Just carry on. I'm just going to sort of one or two things. Carry on speaking.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I don't know if I'm audible enough that everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
sure.
you.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. I think if you take a golden ring and put it on the pig's nostril, then you let it go, it will seem to have lost its value. But but the golden ring remains a golden ring, and it doesn't lose its precious. Zambia has been a golden ring, very expensive, very rich, a country that we can live in so happily if the people that are given a mandate to lead the country are honest enough and fair enough to share the national cake equally. So it's very sad that we live in a country that has a very bad governance systems and being led by a very bad government itself, a messed up government. It is very sad, and we have little hope in such type of leadership which we are seeing in Zambia. And if it was possible that we can change right now the mentality or the mindset of Zambian people and the Zambian politics itself, whereby we tend to believe, as my great mentor or my great inspiration, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema said that those who speaks louder, we tend to think that they are the wisest people. But we have believed that those who makes a lot of noise are the people who are wise enough to lead, but which is a very wrong belief. We have messed up this country because of the mindset that we have as Zambians. So we don't really critically look at what is it that needs to totally transform this country. And what we really need right now is intellectuals and young people to take positions than put thugs, cadres in places to lead intellectuals and lead educated people. Educated people are the ones who are behind escorting cadres to sit in positions and loot the country. And when they loot the country, then we wonder why. It is something that we really need to work on. The problem is with us, the people who do not really think properly in terms of deciding who should lead this country. And if we saw it, because we saw the period that Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu led this country from 2015 to 2016. We saw that period. It was enough for us to say, surely this man have got no vision for this country. But what did we see? We saw like people supporting and, rallying behind him, and he was put again into power. But what we are seeing right now, we are seeing the country really being raped, left, right, and center. Our country is being looted and nothing much is being done. So what I'm trying to put across is that I think going forward to 2021, we should begin to, really try to transform our mindset, transform and bring things on the table and analyze and see, to say, what is it, where are we going wrong? It is the where we choose leadership is what really makes us be who we are today. So the type of leadership that we need to decide and put in position is what will determine how the country will be 10 years, 20 years from now. Because we only live once and for a very short period of time. But if we make wrong decisions today, if we don't really critically pay attention to the type of leadership that we usher into power to lead and take care of the natural resources and our country, it will mean that if we don't critically choose or decide wisely at this level, it will mean that we'll mess up even the next generation, and the other generation will have to pay the price of our carelessness today. So as we go forward to 2021, let us really be, sober-minded and think so critically and decide so wisely that we usher into power the leaders that are meant, that means well to this country, that will really look forward to say, what legacy are we going to leave? What type of Zambia are we going to leave for our future generation to inherit? Because really, under such a messed up leadership that we have right now in Zambia, we are bound to fail, and we are bound to fail even the next generation, and our children will have nothing to inherit but to lament upon our heads that our forefathers did not leave us a better country to live in. So it is time that we need to begin to think about it, and as we go forward to 2021, let us decide so wisely as Zambians. This is the message that I have for all Zambians out there tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. Chongo. The message is clear. And, like Shanik has been commenting on this side, people have been talking about the fact that we need to change leadership, because we've had recycled leadership from UNIP. And what we don't want, for me, what I wouldn't want for 2021 is to see all these tags, that are in PF coming to UPND. It's not going to be a good thing. So we need to change leadership completely. And the changing of our mindsets is us acknowledging that change is here, and we have the power and the ability to accept change. And we are the change, the changers. Yeah, we are the agents of change of the Zambian, destiny and what's happening in Zambia. Otherwise, we will just be complaining about the same issues. I've been telling people in the communities where I'm visiting them, I told them, look, you will be complaining about poverty in the next 5 years because you accepted 50 kwacha. So you have to be wise. It's not about you having a 50 kwacha today and then tomorrow you're hungry. Even if they give you a regalia of a chitenge, what are you going to do with it? You can't fry with a regalia. You can't do anything. So you have to be wise. Your mindset should know that we need a change. And in terms of leadership, we're looking for leadership that is ready to work for the people. So even when it comes to picking leaders, this is what I've been telling them. Don't just pick somebody as an MP because the person looks nice on the face or because the person is promising you what they will do. An MP should start working now.
Yeah.
You know, and these are the mistakes people have made. They fall in love with somebody because of a t-shirt. They fall in love with somebody because of a chitenge. And that person doesn't even have leadership qualities. I mean, one of our aspiring candidates has been telling people, I'm not going to do any empowerment activities for you until I'm adopted. Now, the person is giving them a condition of wait for me to be adopted before I can empower you. How about now? So you mean from now till April 2021, what will people be eating? You know, and I've been telling people this as well, that look, if you pick an MP who doesn't even know the way an aeroplane looks like, you are in trouble. It's better you even pick somebody who is exposed, who even knows how an aeroplane looks like, who's been flying all their life without, you know, getting it over to their head to say, look, I'm now flying all over the world. That's why we need more people, even in the diaspora, coming on ground, bringing the experiences, like what Craig was saying. You know, having worked as a social worker in UK, having worked for different types of, you know, service users and kind of organizations, we understand the pressures that are there. But our aim, even Mr. Kwachangwe and Messi as you work, and Conrad, we work for the people. We don't work because we want to become rich, and we are paid by the hour. So every hour is important. But you find that somebody has been in office for 5 years and the person has never done anything. So what sort of leadership is this? So our mindset needs to change. Right now, in my constituency, Madam Kandoluo has suddenly started coming because she's heard that I've been there. She's suddenly popping there, but she never even gets off the car to even greet the people. She's in her car all the time. That's the lead. Those are the type of MPs they have. That people rush to Messi and Mr. Kwachangwe. People rush to them, you know, at the car and collect 5 kwacha and they go. And tomorrow is another day. They don't even think of what empowerment projects they can do for them. Okay.
It's because they've got
Thank
it
you
wrong.
so much. Yes.
They've got it wrong. They think they've turned it the other way around. So these people, when they are elected, they think they are the boss and that the people who voted for them are their servants. So this is why you get people will go to a certain constituency, you know, they'll just peek their heads out the window saying, oh, you know, how many are you? You know, who's out here? Kind of like, you know, I'm better than you type of ideas. But that shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't forget that these are the people who go and kneel saying, you know, vote for me, you know, I will serve you. And then when they're put into power, they're not serving it. So they've got it twisted. They've got it the other way around. So I think they need to be disciplined. And the only ones who can do that, who have the power to do that, it's the people who are casting these votes. You need to remember who the boss is. The boss is the electorate. You're the one who puts these people into power. So if you're not happy with them, you're not pleased with what they've done, they haven't delivered, you need to vote them out. So this is one of the situations I keep saying, look at what PF have done. What is it that they've done for the people of Zambia? They ran on the promise that they're going to put more money in your pockets. There has been no money in your pockets. Taxes are, is it close to 30%, if not over 35%? The last time I checked. So that's less money in your pockets. So you ought to be looking at these things and saying they haven't delivered. So you need to fire them. You absolutely need to fire them. So this thing of people not serving you is because they think they are your boss. But also you let them get away with it because in your mind as well, you've convinced yourself that the MPs are your bosses, that the people in government are your bosses, when in fact you are the boss. You know, if you knew you were the boss, you're not going to be accepting that your 10-year-olds should be given NRCs. You will be resisting these things. You will be actually driving these people out of your areas, out of your townships, out of your residential areas, and ask them to get out because they're engaging in illegal activity. But if you're just going to sit there and be complacent and allow them to take over, you're giving power into their hands. These people need to learn. Just look at what happened to Malawi. I'm actually even beginning to think when Zambians get fed up enough, this situation could happen. When you see people, citizens have taken it upon themselves. They're saying, I'm not going to rely on the police. We are going to guard the ballots, the polling stations ourselves. This is where we are headed. Push people enough, and this is what you're going to get. But I can promise you, PF have nothing that they can do for you. They have already shown you that they are corrupt. They are constantly stealing money. They always have an excuse of when they are criticized on their failings. They constantly blame the opposition. It's not the opposition party's responsibility to work as government. They are not in the government at the moment. It is you that we've placed in there that it needs to be doing your job. And anytime that you fail, it means you're not fit for the job, and we need to get rid of you. And this culture of silence from the president, I've not heard any comments. Perhaps, I've been asleep and too slow. I haven't heard him make any comments on those young people who are getting NRCs. I mean, what you would expect from any respectable government is to say we're very disappointed about the things that we're seeing and, learning that 10-year-olds are being given NRCs. We're going to do everything within our power to ensure that this is being investigated as soon as possible. It must come to a stop. Zambia is a democratic country, and things need to be running properly. But you hear dead silence from Edgar Lungu. Absolute silence. He says nothing. And also it speaks to the institutions that we have, that no one has confidence in those ones. You cannot have confidence in the current Anti-Corruption Commission. See their handling of the investigation of Chitalu Chilufya. See what moves have they made in investigating the 48 houses. What work have they done in investigating the money that's been misallocated to non-existent pharmacies? Do you have confidence that they will even do a proper investigation as to the 61 million that's been spent on expired medicines? I actually even have a theory on that. I don't even think that medication came from any reputable pharmaceutical company. To me, it's a classic fraudulent act where you've had medication perhaps from donors. You're supposed to distribute it to the people, but you're thinking, oh, let me make a quick buck out of this. And you've kept that and you've decided to sell it rather than redistribute to the people. What happens when people are too poor? They can't afford the medication. So then you're stuck with a product for too long, which no one is using, which then expires. And now you want to steal money. You don't have enough funding to be spending on, on the elections. You don't have enough funding. So you're looking for means and ways to steal. So then you're going to come out and say, I've spent 60 odd whatever million pounds on medication. That is what I suspect has happened. I do not believe any reputable pharmaceutical company would be selling expired medication. Once the reputation is damaged, you really will have a bad name on the world stage, and you would not want to associate yourself with things like that. So I'm really suspicious. We have a really big decision to make. As a Zambian people, we need to reframe the narrative. Don't get caught up in privatization. I mean, people may have questions still. They want them to be clarified. I'm pretty sure the UPND leader is more than capable to answer any questions you have as to how he made his wealth, or how he found himself on the board. If you're still questioning those things, he's more than capable to answer you. But while you're doing that, at the same time, do not be quiet. when it comes to the 48 houses. Do not be quiet when it comes to the 60-odd million kwacha that is being spent on expired medication. Do not stay silent on those issues. Do not be silent on issues where you're seeing 10-year-olds getting NRCs. Do not be silent when you're seeing foreigners getting NRCs when they shouldn't get them. Do not be silent when you see the ECZ are not doing their job, when they are not speaking out. They are not telling you what they're putting in place on how they're going to resolve this issue, because it directly impacts the elections. You need to come out with as much aggression as you can and make them feel the pressure. They need to be aware that we have lost confidence in these institutions, and the confidence needs to be restored. There isn't even much confidence left in the courts. I mean, you have a situation where the Doris Elias of this world are writing letters of the investigations that they're going to do to find if these allegations are true about HH. They're going to investigate them. I mean, this is the last person that should be speaking about investigating somebody, because they do have skeletons themselves in the closet. There is no credibility. They have no leg to stand on. When you have groups of people who turn a blind eye to corruption that is going on in their party, and then they want to go and investigate someone based on allegations which cannot even be verified. They've actually been rebutted without even going to court. Some of these statements that Ms. Nawakwi made. So you cannot trust these institutions. You can't even trust. Can you honestly trust the courts which failed to investigate corruption? Sorry, the courts which failed to give the proper judgment on criminals. Can you trust that judgment, if HH was going to go to courts, can you trust that the judgment will be fair? Do you trust the courts of Zambia right now to be giving a fair judgment? Personally, I don't, because I have seen their handling of Chitaluchi Lufia's situation. Do you trust the Anti-Corruption Commission right now? I don't trust them, because I have seen their handling of the Chitaluchi Lufia case. And also, it's also not limited to one thing. It's not just the money that he misallocated, that we also now have another scandal on medication. What is going on? How many more things do you need to happen in the country before you can rise up and say enough? How much more do you need? Do we need the country to burn to the ground for us to realize that things have come to an end? This is the time to rise up. You know, we are in a state of emergency. This is a crisis. It is actually a crisis. There's several other issues you're fighting as well, because we're being controlled by the CCP. We're being controlled by China right now. When you see a president who cannot stand up for the Zambians, who cannot speak out when someone dodgy or several dodgy investors come out and they mistreat the citizens of Zambia, the people of the land, when that leader does not stand up, they are not fit to do their job. The silence of Edgar Lungu is deafening. He cannot come out and defend his policies. He has never been able to do that. The only things that I have heard when I've heard Edgar Lungu open his mouth is when he's making statements of someone asked him, a journalist asked him, what are you going to do for the country when when you're voted into power? And he says, not much, not much. That's when I heard him open his mouth. The other time was when he's in the coach and he's shaking people's hands and saying, don't worry, I'm abusing my power. When Kenneth Kaunda was doing it, you said nothing, but now it's my turn. Don't worry, I'll abuse my power. That is your leader. That is your president today. Today, not any other year. Today, that is your leader. I mean, you cannot even compare this man to Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, because if we were fighting for independence, just picture that situation. Edgar Lungu is not your guy. He cannot speak to dodgy Chinese investors and tell them, do not oppress my people. Do you think if we're being colonized right now, that Edgar Lungu would be your person to fight for your liberation as Zambians? He would not be. No. He would be serving the colonial masters. He would be selling out every inch of ground that you have bled to deserve to be walking on that land of Zambia, he would be selling it out for you, and he is doing it in broad daylight. How he does that, it's by his silence. Silence speaks volumes. You know, you don't need any bigger example than what we have at the moment. So rise up, Zambia, get rid of PF and their leader, Mr. Lungu. He has failed, you know, he's had plenty of time to perform. He's done nothing. The only thing that you're having is infrastructure being built, which does not generate revenue. The mines have gone. Mining licenses have been given to the Chinese. Can you think of if you have land now and you discover that there's minerals on there, you cannot even mine on your own land. You're going to have to get the Chinese to come and mine on your land. And you have people in the opposition that have concrete plans that are saying mining licenses will be given, you know, to Zambians. Land will be given to Zambia. What is it that you want? I mean, how much more do you want? How much more do you need PF to mess up? You cannot rely on this government because they're also not transparent. We're actually in a lot more debt than we realize with China. And how you can see that, it's their lack of strength and standing up to the Chinese investors when they do wrong to Zambians. And then this leadership stays silent. That should tell you that behind the scenes, China is controlling everything. When you look at the news, your once, you know, once upon a time, reputable media organizations such as ZNBC who would report on everything. I mean, in the past, before MMD came into power, we had fair reporting of the news. You know, they would report about what the UNIP was doing. They would report about what MMD was doing. It was fair reporting. But now it is one-sided because the one who holds the largest share in the government, in that organization is China. So China will only promote an organization which is their face, which they have chosen, and it is PF. Anything PF does right now is for the benefit of China. It's not for the benefit of Zambia. So look at what they are doing. Mines are gone, ZESCO gone, and now people having to pay bills through their nose. You know, it's really, really sad. So yeah, so rise up. It's really, really sad. So rise up, stand up for the country, defend Zambia, and vote PF out. And also keep an eye out on this case where the Electoral Commission has been taken to court. A little gem I learned when I was listening to an interview on something that Mr. Honorable Gary Nkombo was saying. He was talking about where they have broken the law, you know, Section 7 of the Electoral Process Act, I think number 35, 2007, where it says that there shall be continuous voter registration. But this government, the Electoral Commission, who seem to be puppets of the government when they should be independent, they seem, you know, they want that to be done in 30 days, which does not make sense. When things are going wrong, you cannot control the issuing of NRCs. The systems are failing. It's clearly shown foreigners are getting NRCs, which means they can, you know, register to vote and they'll vote. Young people who are not of age are getting NRCs, which means they can register and vote. And you don't have any systems in place to prevent such people from casting a vote. How can we trust you to say your declaration of voter registration is going to take place within 30 days, that is going to work? It just doesn't make sense. Why are you deleting the current register? It does not make sense, especially in this pandemic that we're facing. You would naturally expect that the process is going to take longer because where you have masses of people, which is what the 30 days will attract, it means you need several thousands of people, hundreds or millions, trying to register within a short space of time. And with the social distancing, can anyone, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that when you have to stick to the guidelines of social distancing, the process is naturally going to take longer. So you need more than 30 days, unless you can tell us you've come up with this brilliant system, which will not have any glitches. It's guaranteed to work 100%. That will not be limited or affected by social distancing or the pandemic. perhaps you should come out and tell us. So I think youths of Zambia, non-partisan people, partisan people, opposition, as long as you're a citizen of Zambia or anyone living in that country that cares about our land, you need to come out and create pressure, not just on the PF. You need to start creating pressure on these institutions such as the ECZ. You need to start making demands from them to sort out the issues that are going on. And we need issues resolved. So arise, Zambia, stand up for your country. You know, we need change in 2021. PF has to go.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. Shadrach, did you want to say anything? Last words? Then Conrad, I can see I hear you're back. Shadrach, do you want to say anything? Let me see, your sound is off.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, hi. Yes. Yes, hi.
Hello. Okay. Thank you. I think I would love to recommend the issues that the woman, I think, I don't know, it's the lady under letter M that she was making. Okay.
Yeah,
I really appreciate. I think we need more of those people, you know, to speak for the nation, to stand for our country. Okay, I think even the combination of you and her, I tell you, it can create a very huge bomb. Because I saw just recently, I saw a picture of, I think, you know, children less than 12 years or 10, I don't know. They're very young and obtaining NRCs. I don't know the logic behind that. So I'm really failing to understand what is going on in our country, because this level of corruption is just too high. You know, they want to rig elections and they have their own plans, because Edgar Lungu is refusing to go out of power. I don't know the kind of a person he is. Because when it comes to church, he pretends to be a very good person, but when he goes in the office, in his office, when he goes back to his office, you know, he turns his heart like a stone. It's more like Pharaoh now. This is how he has tended to be. Okay, so there are so many issues that are surrounding our country. There are so many rapports, there's so many holes that needs to be, you know, filled up by us youths. So we just need to stand up and continue campaigning whilst in the midst of, you know, threats and all that. All we need to do is to stand up, to continue campaigning, you know, to encourage people to vote for the UPND. Because I tell you, even MMD did so. You know, MMD was dishing money, you know, materials. MMD was giving food, you know, to people. But time came when MMD was taken out of power. So time is coming when PF is going out of power. PF is completely going out of power, and that will be next year. Next year, PF, we are working extremely hard to take PF out of power. Okay, and these are the same programs that are happening in our community. Okay, let's just continue, you know, being on the ground. Okay, and we'll see that PF will go out of power this coming year, because we have suffered. There's too much poverty, like where I live, like in the compound. I'm usually in the compound. That's where my school is. Okay, so I see people even failing to pay a simple amount of money. Okay, there's too much poverty. People are only eating sometimes once in a day, 1 meal a day. Whilst the government workers, these corrupt people, they're bathing in money, they're bathing milk. You know, they're enjoying life at the expense of taxpayers' money. So these are some of the problems that we need to tackle as you know, as aspiring candidates. So we need to go on the ground and make sure we form branches, and we campaign. We make sure that we steer up the atmospheric ground, for people to vote for the UPND because there's no life in PF. There's no life in PF. If you don't belong to PF, then you're not a Zambian. That's the way it is. So if you don't belong to PF, you're not a Zambian.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. I'm going to be closing shortly. Conrad, if you can just say something more and then we close.
Hello, good evening, Madam Lead. Hello, good evening, Madam Lead.
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine.
There's an echo, something like that. So I don't know whether you can hear me clearly.
I've put it away. So if you can just 5 minutes and then we close. We'll carry on tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I'll begin with the NRC issue. I think, yeah, like there've been photos of those young kids. They look 9, 8, 7, very young, like just less than 10 years. But you see that they are being issued with NRCs. If that is true, that is a proper and clear documented abrogation of the Constitution of Zambia, you know. While in Southern Province, in Western Province, and other regions in this country, in Zambia, people are struggling to obtain NRCs. People are queuing up in those offices, taking days to get NRCs. But we see that in Luapula Province and in Northern Province and other provinces, NRCs are being given to underage, below 16. What kind of lawlessness is that? By next year, we have to put to an end this kind of lawlessness. It should not continue. If we are going to continue on this trajectory, then I don't know where we are going as a country. Not only that, there is even a video circulating around where cadres, pure PF cadres, are issuing NRCs, operating NRC machines. You can even clearly see there's even a video going around. The video you earlier showed where they were in schools, those camps where they come from. Then that man with dreads busy operating the NRC printing machine and laminating machine. In that manner, you can even clearly see that man does not even look like he works for NRPC offices. It's clear that he doesn't even work for those offices, but you find him handling those machines. Where does he get the power to do that? Who give them the right to do that? That is pure political interference in the process of issuing NRCs. Why are these things happening only now? Mobile registration is not a first time practice. Government has been doing that in the past, in 2015, in 2016, in 2010, in 2011, 2009, and way back. But we've never seen such kind of political interference like we are seeing today. Why is it that all these things are happening today? This is clear lawlessness and it must be put to an end. They are even issuing NRCs to young ones, kids, foreigners from the Democratic Republic of Congo. They are being issued with NRCs. NRC first class, the Zambian NRC, green one. Why? Just pure desperation that they want to remain in power at all costs. Tonight, I was even listening to Sunday Chanda on Movie TV where he was debating with Movita now. He was busy saying that, no, this thing for issuing NRCs to kids, even in 2016, even in Southern Province, it was happening. In areas like Dundumwezi, somewhere in Southern Province, it was happening. Now that it's happening in PF areas, how can you blame the government and everything like that? So does it mean that because it happened in Southern Province, then you, as a government, you have to allow the lawlessness to continue? No, that is not right. I could even clearly see that everything is just about shifting blame here and there. But that is putting our national security at risk. Imagine that child, the 10-year-old, 9-year-old child being issued an NRC today. It will be assumed that today that child is 16 years and 10 years from now, that child will be assumed to be like 27 years old. How is that child going to go to college? How is that child going to find a job? if they are going to look like 18 years in 10 years to come, if they are going to look like 18 years when their NRCs are being written like they are 28 years old, how are they going to be issued with? How are they going to find employment? It will be something very difficult. The moment we put this rubbish to an end, the better it will be for our country, Zambia. Issuing NRCs to foreigners, there's a risk that they can even be giving unpatriotic Congolese people with these NRCs. Some of them may even be, because they have NRCs, may even be given opportunities to stand as councillors and MPs in certain of these areas. And they will even bring a lot of unpatriotic, they'll be making a lot of unpatriotic decisions for our country, Zambia. And while we, the indigenous Zambians, are just watching the nonsense going on, the area we put this nonsense to a stop, the better. The only time that we can put these things to a stop is next year by voting PF out of power. That's the only thing we can do. Then about expired medicines. Expired medicines, I think those pharmaceutical companies, whoever was issued with those tenders, if government really means well on this issue, they should, the best thing they can do, they should just blacklist that particular pharmaceutical company, if at all, whoever won that particular tender, or they can just deregister that particular company, because that is putting people's lives at stake. We are talking about saving lives. Yes, there's nothing wrong with government buying medicines in these hospitals, but they should take caution that whatever thing they are buying, it must not be substandard, but it must be something that is above board. If you are talking about buying expired medicines, you are putting people's lives at stake. We know those people. We know these people in government. They are thieves. Just a small flu, if they get a small flu or cold, they'll be on that presidential challenger, short to South Africa, short to India, just to seek that particular medical treatment. While we as Zambians, our people out there are suffering, they have to go to those 650 health posts, substandard health posts they are constructing, which have got no proper wards, no beds, no medicines, no whatever. Again, they are supplying expired medicine on top of the substandard health centers they are building. No proper facilities. Again, you are even putting expired medicines in there. That is so disheartening against us, the people of Zambia. So the best way to put this mediocrity to an end is to drive PF out of government next year. They will try all their machinations whatsoever. Let's just campaign hard on the ground, sensitize our people in the villages who vote based on handouts, that this nonsense must be put to an end. We know that this year or next year, the so-called e-voucher FISIP things will be distributed quicker than usual, just for campaign purposes. But I pray that farmers out there, everyone in the villages out there, should not fall in these tricks. Everyone who is watching us, everyone who is listening to this on this platform, if you've got relatives out there in the villages, tell them never to fall prey to early distribution of farmer input support program, early distribution of fertilizers. Tell them never to fall prey to these tricks. Tell them never to fall prey to reduction of school fees in schools. We know what they did in 2016. They reduced school fees at boarding school. They reduced to 1,000 kwacha as a boarding school, and 500 kwacha for day school. Primary schools to 150, something like that. They slashed school fees just as a campaign gimmick. And immediately after the elections were over, term 3, we paid the full school fees, no more as we used to pay the full expensive school fees at the end of the day. But just before elections, school fees were reduced. I urge our parents out there not to fall prey to these tricks. These are just campaign gimmicks. We know that if they may even reduce the price of mealie meal to 90 by fire, by force, whatever they can do. But don't fall prey to these things. These are just dirty tricks to deceive us that they are working when in fact they are not working. We've seen how their policies have failed over the years in almost everything, such that they've been forced to borrow expensive loans where they even have options to go for cheaper loans out there, but they choose to go for expensive Chinese loans, just putting our country in more debt and more debt and more debt. We know that these monies they borrow, where they go, they tell them that you will start paying back these loans after 10 years. Who cares that who will be there after 10 years? They just accept that, okay, we'll start servicing after 10 years. Yes, after 10 years. Because they know that after 10 years, they will not be there. There will be someone else in government who will be able to, who will sweat to pay back these monies. These people, they know that they will never be in power anymore. They'll just borrow these loans, plunder the monies, make themselves rich. But they know that 10 years to come, they will not be in power to make those decisions. Not only that, just 2 years from now, Zambia will start paying its Eurobonds. The first Eurobond, we are talking about 750 million United States dollars. We know that in Bank of Zambia, there is no 750 million United States dollars at the moment. There's nothing like that. Of course, they may pay the money maybe at a day or not, but as the way things look now, it looks like they will default. They will have nothing to pay. It will go like the Lebanon way, you see. And if they default that particular money, our economy may crash and everything. So the best way to prevent the country out of this mess is to change the government, put UPND in it, so that fresh negotiations on our loan repayments may start. We may start talking to IMF, we may start talking to our creditors afresh on how we can pay back these monies or reschedule the repayment times and dates. Because if PF comes back to Zambia 2022, we will pay these particular monies whether we like it or not. But if we change the government, of course, we will be talking about fresh negotiations on when we are going to pay these monies. Maybe they are going to push them to 2030 or somewhere else, you know. So the best solution, change the government. Regime change is inevitable for our country to go back to return to its dignity. Thank you.
Okay, comrade. Thank you so much for your contribution. I have to go now. We've passed our time now. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. At least today the pattern of the power is different. There was power earlier, but the children were doing some homework. So I had to focus on that. But thank you so much for your help and everybody who has contributed. Lily, UNZA students are being deregistered. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Let me find out. Thank you so much for your support, your love. Until tomorrow, we will